bad assignment idea. So it's a parody of all the major YouTube Shorts creators, but it's, what's up guys, I'm about to give $10,000 to this absolutely random person. Thank you so much. Ever since I've had my custom wrapped Tesla, it's been tough, man. When I was a young boy,
Wait for it.
I was a small child.
Reacting to my coworkers in the elevator.
Guys, welcome back to Vacuum ASMR. So, short-form content has been on the rise for a number of years now, and today that's what we're going to be talking about. The rise of short-form content and how it's going to be impacting us as software developers. Now, I guarantee you've all heard of how it started, an app called TikTok. They discovered the perfect way to keep you on their app and to keep you entertained. But to understand exactly what they found, we're going to have to look at what entertainment actually is first. And thankfully I can explain it to you through this multi-pants graph.
This here line is a task you've decided to do, and when you complete that task, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel good. That dopamine is what entertainment is.
Sorry. Now, do you see a problem in this graph? Waiting for the dopamine reward becomes boring. But see here, if you break up that line into lots of little smaller lines, it means you wouldn't have to wait nearly as long for entertainment. And that's exactly what the people at TikTok worked out. By giving you small videos to scroll through, there was an addictive ultra-ending entertainment formula, where you just had to scroll and scroll and scroll until eventually you look up and 5 hours has just passed. So, now we know how and why short-form content is so popular in this modern world. But what we really need to know is how it's affecting us, and most importantly, as software engineers, how we can use that to our advantage. Before we can do that, there is a couple of downsides we need to consider. The biggest one being our attention spans. Entertainment comes so easily now that we don't really feel the need to wait for it anymore. In fact, collectively as the human race, our attention span has dropped from 12 seconds in the early 2000s to as low as 7 seconds modern day. Whoa, hold up, that's huge. We as human beings have collectively lost 5 seconds worth of attention span? Am I the only one who thinks that could be an issue? So I asked around. I contacted Shorts YouTuber Garrett the Carrot and asked him about this, and he responded, well, for creators it has the potential to rack in big bucks. For the audience, especially children, it is deteriorating their attention span and, in a way, giving them an addiction, involving them spending hours upon hours swiping and swiping. They're an almost effortless way to gain millions of views and thousands of dollars. However, the long-term impact short-form content can have on children nowadays is detrimental. So how is this addictive short-form content that shrinks your attention span going to affect us as a software designer and developer? Let's say you're making a video game. It's no longer acceptable to have that 5-minute loading screen you used to have, a complicated tutorial, and a confusing GUI. Small inconveniences like that can be enough to make users bored, and a bored user will leave your program. An example of a game that suffered from this was the hit 2020 game, Among Us. Yes, cringe, I know. At its height, Among Us was an incredibly popular game, and while it had many good reasons for that, one of its major ones was it was very accessible to play. You could download the app and bam, you could just play Among Us. Effortless, easy, and most importantly, fast, leaving very little room for users to get bored. And at the end of 2020, Among Us suffered several inconveniences which badly hurt its player count. Issues such as server troubles, creating accounts, and probably the worst of all, the inability to use chat without a confirmed email. This completely took away the easy, effortless, and fast feel that Among Us had. No longer was Among Us easy to play, it was inconvenient and required you to spend time signing up. That was the nail in the coffin for Among Us. We need to get our users to the design program and its use as fast as possible, and not linger on the unnecessary parts. We need to take those addictive elements of TikTok and put them into our software. How can we reward the user as much as possible? What is the best way to entertain them? And no, this doesn't just apply to games, this applies to all programs. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we need to be careful how we use those entertainment powers. It is indeed harming our society and reducing our attention spans. A way I think we could deal with this is to slow down the pace that the program travels after the user has maybe spent 10 or 20 minutes on it, or maybe come up with a warning for when the user spends a large amount of time on our programs. This would prevent users from becoming heavily addicted or wasting hours upon hours of their life on useless entertainment. So, as software designers and developers, what can we learn from my mini rant about Among Us and attention spans and short-form content? Well, for a start, our attention span is just gone. You can't afford to have users bored on your program. Short-form content really was that big announcement that things were going to change. Programs like Among Us that created slow user experiences are going to have to suffer, while apps like TikTok with its fast-paced entertainment generator are going to thrive. As we design and develop our softwares, we need to consider the rapid changes brought about by short-form content and integrate them into our programs. But we also need to be aware that it can be harmful too. Alright, thank you for watching, and now if you'll excuse me.
Amazon Products Unique Part 206.